Is anybody here from Birthright, Agape, Alpha, Ruth Harbor, Gabriel Project, Rachel's Vineyard, Pathways in Pella, Life Care Pregnancy Center, A New Beginning Adoption Agency, Bethany Christian Services? Is there anybody here from those? Thank you. If I've left one out, I apologize. But those agencies we work very closely with at InnerVisions Healthcare. We are an unplanned pregnancy and an STD medical clinic. We help women and men who are facing an unplanned pregnancy. We refer people to those other agencies for services that they provide that we don't. We work very closely together. I ask each one of you to please support all of those. We can't do what we do in the trenches without your support. We don't get government funding. We don't get millions of dollars. Our little budgets are put together by people like you, and I want to thank you for supporting all of us. At InnerVisions Healthcare, we've been open a year and a half. We've seen 85 women choose life rather than abortion. When you add up all the women that those other agencies has helped as well, can you imagine the impact that's been made in this state, at least just in the central Iowa? It's amazing. I'm going to give you a couple examples of the clinic, but my talk today is really about the effects of Roe versus Wade on women. And from my perspective, it's very dramatic. I'm speaking from experience. I'm speaking from watching what's happened in our clinic. Not because someone's told me, or I've seen it on the news, or I've read it on the internet. It's because this is what I've seen. When the women's movement began, women reveled in their womanhood. In womanhood now, since Roe versus Wade, we see that womanhood and motherhood are the very heart of being woman, is being rejected and even vilified. Remember the suffragettes way back when, and one of their leaders, the unsinkable Molly Brown, and her fight to embrace her womanhood as a leader? Remember the success that they had in helping to create a society where we women would be taken seriously as leaders. As a result of Roe versus Wade, the successful efforts of the suffragettes has been minimalized, and even giving women permission to deny their womanhood and reject their motherhood. Anytime we reject who we are created to be and deny the natural order of things, it creates inner conflict, exhibiting emotional, spiritual, and even physical reactions. We women are created to have a natural nurturing hormone, giving us the innate desire to create life, to love life, and to protect life. Those who have had an abortion, in my experience, handle their inner rejection of motherhood and their inner conflict in one of three ways. The first one is that in the depths of their regret, they begin to retreat within themselves. They eventually suffer deep depression, even experiencing an emotional deadening, mental breakdown, suicidal feelings, decreased self-confidence, and the list goes on and on. Another post-abortion person may become hard-hearted as a means of justifying their guilt and their choice to abort. I've seen this play out through anger, which often includes the emotional depression I spoke about, This is exhibited in how she relates to others, leaving her with numerous broken relationships, divorces, alienations from people she truly loves. The pain goes so deep that she doesn't even realize what she's doing. Her self-centeredness becomes rooted in who she is. Finally, a post-abortive person may choose to use their experience to help others by getting involved in the Right to Life movement through their church or in the community or by attending this march. Some may even choose to volunteer at a pregnancy help clinic, just like InnerVisions, sharing their love with other women dealing with the same fears that they had. At the clinic, we have faced many of these scenarios. I'd like to share a couple with you. Sometimes it's hard because I remember the face of this person. A mother brings her pregnant teen into the clinic. We soon discover the teen wishes to abort the baby. It's a clump of cells, means nothing to her, and she wants it gone. When meeting with her mother separately, we learn that she herself is post-abortive and does not want her daughter to live with the pain and the anguish that she suffered. Her hope for her daughter is to give birth and possibly place her baby up for adoption. Another scenario, these just happened within the last month. A 22-year-old pregnant woman brings her mom with her to the clinic this time. The girl has chosen to parent the child unbeknown to her mother, who has scheduled an abortion for the following morning. Again, we learn that this woman, her mother, is post-abortive. She insists that her daughter is unable to parent. Granted, she knows what her daughter's capable of, and maybe her daughter isn't able to parent. But through her fear and her guilt of her own abortion, she believes that her daughter has no choice. These two came out very positive. In both cases, the mother and daughters were reunited. One of the things we end up doing a lot of times in the clinic is intervening for families and helping them come together. This young teenage girl is now in prenatal care and working with her school nurse and preparing to have this baby. The mother of the pregnant girl, the daughter, 22-year-old, she stormed out of the clinic very angry when she found out that her daughter canceled the abortion appointment. But 5 days later, she sent me an email and she said, "I owe you an apology, and I want to thank you for supporting my daughter's pregnancy when I couldn't." That tells me that the care we give these people is non-judgmental and that they feel like they can come back to us because we aren't going to turn them away because they have a mentality for death. It doesn't matter to us. We still love them and we still want to support them as much as we can in where they're at. In both these cases, the post-abortion women came back, and like you said, they're doing much better. In both these cases of the women, they're doing much better. In both these cases, the post-abortive women were lied to, and that's how they feel about their past. In both these cases, the women admittedly suffer every day from their decision, and that's how they chose to react to it. Those are only a couple of small cases. The effects of Roe versus Wade have been dramatic. It's not my opinion, it's my experience. Please continue to advocate for the unborn, but also the woman. Pray for the healing of millions of women who suffer from post-abortion. Many who have died with this painful secret on their heart. Please do not condemn them. As you saw today with the interruption, post-abortive woman. That's how she reacts. She needs our love. And when you're debating someone who is passionately pro-choice, please understand that they could be suffering post-abortion. In many cases they are. And their inner conflict of rejecting their womanhood and their motherhood has gotten the best of them. I'd like to read a phrase by one of the early popes with regard to a letter Paul wrote to the Philippians. Then I'll add my own swing on it, if he doesn't mind. Proclaim the message, and welcome or unwelcome, insist on it. Refute falsehood, correct error, call to obedience, but always with patience and the intention of teaching. I'd like to add, using love and compassion, not forgetting the hurts of the world. Thank you.